You are listening to CrossTalk, a safe place to discuss addiction, recovery, harm reduction, and everything in between. Support for this podcast comes from the Kentucky Opioid Response Effort and Advocates of Recovery. Content and production by the team at Turning Point Recovery Community Center. Now, buckle up and get ready for the show.
Everyone, welcome to the CrossTalk Recovery Podcast, the recovery podcast that supports all forms of recovery. I'm Nathan Brockett, and I'm here with
Kevin Robertson,
David,
Charles Hobson.
Awesome. Cool. I'm so glad to have you guys on today. I know we've been talking about making this episode for a while now, and I appreciate you reaching out and connecting with me about this stuff. So this is the first time these gentlemen have ever been on. Have you watched the podcast and checked it out? What do you think so far?
I think it's a great thing, raising awareness to the disease that we have.
Yeah.
And being able to show people how to receive some help.
Yeah.
If they want to.
So that's one thing I like about doing this podcast, man. It's kind of a dynamic way to bring light to substance use disorder, but not just the negative parts of it. Hey, here's all these people. They work this pad, that pad, this, and they're sitting here doing this, all this stuff. So I like to take this opportunity, man, to thank you, of course, you, David, as well. I know you've been around for a while, Mr. David. Yeah, and just glad to have you guys, man. And so, if you don't mind me asking, what interests you guys to come on today? What was the interest what interested you into doing this today?
Charles, I'm a recovering addict. What interests me, man, is that I was just trying to put something back into the stream of life that was positive. You know what I'm saying? From the different communities where I've took from my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to put some positivity back out there, not only to adults suffering from the disease, but to the up-and-coming adults, man, to our future. Just wanted to just put some positivity out there, man, and then show them that there is a different life, and it's definitely obtainable. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? As long as you just put in the effort, man.
I agree. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Charles. I mean, we know you, but these folks on the podcast may not.
Right. Well, I grew up in Hopkinsville. My mother was an addict. Father, he's a hard drinker. Mm-hmm. He still goes to work, does this thing. He's a responsible adult. That was not the case with me.
Ain't no way.
I didn't get blessed with that gene.
I used to get mad about that, man. I'd be jealous because my dad's the same way. He can drink and he can get up and go to work, and I mean drink. Like you would think he'd be an alcoholic if you hung out with him on a Friday night, but then come Monday morning he's starting a big job and it looks all regular, and I used to get mad about that, man, because I couldn't do that. I'd be jobless and have a fresh bench warrant, and So
yeah.
The book talk about that. It says, see others drink with impunity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wish I could.
Yeah.
That does happen.
I think, don't we all? I didn't get here by drinking and drugging and working out. You know what I'm saying? No. So parents were using.
Yeah, they use. My father, he was there for me. My mother, she had to go to treatment growing up. Father ended up getting custody of me. He actually has a degree in theology.
Dang.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So, the book talks about every deep down in every woman, man, and child, there's a fundamental idea of God.
Yeah.
I had that.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand God. I didn't have that relationship, it's God of my understanding, which I have an understanding of him semi.
Yeah.
This day.
Okay.
So, childhood was childhood. Till I got old enough to start going to prison. Once I got old enough to go to prison, I made several trips.
Frequent flyer.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I made several trips, man. I did not understand why I couldn't get it right. I moved to different places, and it's like, man, why come I can't get it right? Because I still took me with me.
Yeah.
Nothing changed. Still took me with me, man. Everywhere I went. It wasn't until my grandmother died 2023 where I started actually having a change of heart. It's like I lost that piece of me, and I was searching. I was searching for her. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing she instilled in me as a child was God. So I figured if I found God, I found a piece of her.
Yeah. Okay.
And they got me started on the road to recovery.
Yeah.
Went through Centerpoint, graduated Centerpoint. I stayed at Premier 2 terms.
Okay, man.
On my second term now. I got a second job. Just trying to stay in the rooms, man.
Yeah.
Try to reach out and, try to help somebody do some service work.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I can dig that, man. And give back game strong. I like it. I like it. That's the most important part to me as a person in recovery is, what am I doing for the folks?
Right.
I put myself to the side just to make sure that I can help other people. And that's at the basis of, the 12-step spiritual principle service. I think if you're not doing that, I don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? And Mr. David over here, I'm not, I think you've been around for a while. You was jamming when I came in, man. So I'm glad to see you back. You mind telling the folks that are listening and reviewing a little bit about yourself?
My name's David. I'm a recovering addict alcoholic.
Hey, David.
God's will, I have 19 years Sunday. One day at a time.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Grace of God in the program. And I have, since moved back here from Seattle, I've just been busy speaking to different places. Worked at Centerpoint, Edgewater, Stepworks, and I still go to meetings, and I was listening to what they were saying about the God thing. Like you said, every individual got a good seed and a bad seed. For me, thank you for sharing my story about the jails and institutions.
Yeah, man.
I've been there, done that. I used to say my sobriety date was 190114. What is that? That's all the department I will try to correct you. You know what I mean? But truly, what happened for me 18 and a half years ago, man, I moved to Seattle, man. I had a brother there, and I had some choices. I could go to the bitter end. He said he would refund my money back to me for coming out there if I didn't want to stay sober. And I just, and like they said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Well, I'm not a teacher. Show me what you want me to do.
Right.
It's not my first rodeo in and out of rooms, Alcoholics Anonymous. It's just that I was not willing to follow them few suggestions that they told me to follow.
Yeah.
And each time that I didn't do that, my misery was refundable right back to me. So for me, it's a one day at a time program, and you just gotta trust the process. And that's all it is. It's a process, man. It's a process of you're gonna have some good days, you're gonna have some bad days.
Right.
But as long as I don't bend my elbows or put something down my throat or inside of me, I can deal with it today, man. So yeah, it's just good, man.
19 years is a long time, bro.
Absolutely.
That's a long time. That's awesome, man. You walked every minute of it, every second of it.
Every second.
I love that. I love seeing the long-term sobriety, man, because that part of me. I remember early on, courage to change, you get your chips and stuff like that. I remember I used to look forward to that so much. Just that chip meant so much to me. It was like another milestone. And I'll be 7 years next year, and it's just become life now. This is what I do. It's every day. I don't struggle with this stuff anymore. Life struggle with that, of course. Life has its struggles, but at the same time, ain't nothing a drink or drug can't make worse. What I've heard. So I try not to get mixed up in all that, man. And having the opportunities and doing the things that you've done. You know what I mean? Going and peer mentoring and giving back and staying busy, staying in the rooms in the community. That's what got me where I am today. Is that drive to want to just stay dead in the middle of it.
Yep.
That's what they taught me early on, was to just get all up in it,
Right.
see what it's all about, and then take what you can, leave the rest. You know, and it made it so much more fulfilling for me.
Well, we got a debt that I always say that I have to pay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm OA. I'm in debt with A for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I can dig that.
Because simple fact, I was selfish and self-centered, and all these people who try to help me, I didn't listen to. But today, the rooms Alcoholics Anonymous or wherever you choose to go is right.
Yeah.
And the debt is that what was so freely given to me, I must give it away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Must give it away.
Get that.
Cool part about that too, man, because I believe the same thing. But the coolest part about that is if I do those things, if I give it away and I do my best to try to help somebody else, whether it just be through service work or sponsorship, whatever the case may be, in return I get to stay sober and my life improves. Still to this day,
Yeah.
It's crazy how in the beginning the same things that kept me sober and kept me emotionally sober, not just physically sober, but emotionally sober, being able to deal with the highs and lows of life, because they're going to be there regardless. But the same things that worked then still work now. It can be tedious at times. The self-reflection that we were talking about the other day, sitting down and typing some stuff in my phone, I still do that every night.
Yeah.
Because it works. And I remember Jeremy Rose, Tez knows Jeremy. That's how I ended up meeting Tez a couple of years ago. But he told me one day that he'd been looking for a ceiling in this recovery thing for 20 years now, about the same amount of time that you have, man. And he said he still hadn't found it yet. And that amazed me, like if I just keep doing this thing, is just going to keep throwing good things my way. And so far he hadn't been wrong, man. And that's why I'm still here.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing about my recovery today is getting to see other people's get a taste of that. Yeah. Seeing you doing what you're doing now, man, that gives me life, and I couldn't be more happy to be able to watch it, but just be a part of it,
I agree. And you talk about, Charles, as you're talking about with the young folks, man, I know in our capacity, what we do when it comes to the younger folks is, I don't know about y'all, but I grew up in that generation. Say no to drugs. Drugs are bad and K. Don't do them.
Yeah, ripping phone books in half.
All that silly stuff. But I think the message has morphed so much because, it's almost, it's almost, you're not going to be able to stop people from using drugs, man. It's like you can't get rid of them fast enough. Can't catch everybody that's selling them. You can't stop the desire to want to change the way you feel, especially with young folks and the way everything in the world is nowadays. Everything's a stressor. Everything's dark and sad. Everywhere you look on Facebook, social media, all this stuff, and it's like the substances provide an escape from all that. And I think it seems like the message more now has changed more towards education versus prevention, because I don't know about y'all, like I know young folks that have passed away from this disease, and it drives me crazy, man, because I don't know how many of y'all got kids. I know you got kids. I don't know if you got kids. You got any kids? That scares the crap out of me, man. Right. And I know there's nothing I can really do except for like you're doing, like you would talk about, get on here and be active and loud about the fact that this is a reality in the lives of people that decide to use substances. You just talk about all the prison time you've done, in and out. Those kinds of things I think aren't talked about enough with the younger generation. You know what I mean? Because not everybody's going to die from taking one pill.
Right.
Not everybody's going to die from smoking a joint. Not everybody's going to die from drinking drunk driving accidents and things like that. But the lifestyle that comes along with making this choice to continue to pursue that is the jails and the institutions and all that. And that's scary to me.
Yeah. And institutions and jails are really full now. Mm-hmm. I'm 69 years old, and it's the general. I worked in a lot of treatment centers, not only in Paducah but in Seattle. And what I see now is undisciplined children. It's like this kind of like me myself coming up. You can't tell me nothing,
right?
And I know it all, and I don't know it all, and then you go through what you go through. Some of it could be mental illness. Mm-hmm. Everybody's not. The people I have met, some of them are alcoholics. Some of them just got mental illness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So where do you go as far as trying to help? Here's a foundation. You're doing something. you doing something. I'm trying to do something. The primary purpose is you just got to carry a message, man. If you can help 1 out of 10, you're doing good.
Yeah, I agree.
But if you can't help nobody, something wrong.
Yeah.
But as they used to tell me, you'll get this thing called life when it's time for you to get it. So that's what they told me. I mean, I run around, I've done this, and I've done this as a young person. Well, I know I was 50 years old, and I was still trying to maintain a street life. No, man, I had to catch myself.
Yeah.
I had to focus on the God of my understanding that I knew about as a kid, as you said.
Yeah.
I knew about God, but the only time I needed God is when I was in jail.
Right.
Can you get me out? I want to do it again.
Yeah.
Boy, that
Whooping
was-
out the tool belt.
Yeah. Couldn't wait to get out and do it again, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for real, it's you got a purpose. You got a purpose. You got a purpose. I got a purpose. We all got a purpose. And the purpose is to help somebody.
Yeah.
Because somebody helped us.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the big deal. That's where my blessings come from. Getting out of self.
Yeah. I agree, man.
Got to get out of yourself.
Absolutely.
I see a lot of people out in treatment, man. And I used to, when I was a kid, I used to laugh at them alcoholics and addicts, man. Look at that fool, man. I became one of those people.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, man, I've been in a lot of treatments, and this guy told me this. He said, hey, you know what, David? One day you're going to be helping an addict. I said, really?
Yeah.
There it was, started in Seattle. And what I see every day when people come through that door, there go David. There go David. That David? Oh, that's David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, man.
You get a purpose, and it's not so much about money. It's about
I promise you, it ain't about the money. I promise you, it ain't about the money.
ain't no money. Ain't no money.
No, man. If there was this magic wand, and I say this so lightly, that there was a magic wand that would stop maybe my children or somebody else's children from having to experience these kinds of things. There goes my phone. Give me just a second. All right. I don't want to visit my son in a jail cell.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't want to. It's as people that have been through this stuff, how do we create the message to folks that are younger than us to open their eyes and reveal to them that this is what this is? Because, as we all know, when I was 14, 15 years old, you tell me nothing. It's not going to happen to me.
Right.
No, I am exempt from all that. I remember saying a time that I'll never go to jail. I remember looking at the faces of meth on a poster. I'll be like, oh, that'll never be me. I'll never go to jail. Okay. Couldn't stay out of it for a while. And it's like, how do you take all the experiences and things we've been through and translate that into something that you can hand the younger generations so that they don't repeat the same mistakes? Like, some days it feels like you're almost, doomed for it to happen.
Man, I think that's a hard thing to do. Yeah. And like you were talking about your mother and father had their own experiences with drugs and alcohol and stuff. My mom overdosed when I was 19. And I say that very lightheartedly because I didn't know her. And there's a reason I didn't know her, because she wasn't in my life because of drugs and alcohol. I just heard about it. My dad, in and out of the prison system my whole life, man. Like, I had a perfectly good example of what not to do. You know what I'm saying? Right. I had the blueprint, dude. Don't do this. Don't do this. That's what I did. Yeah. And you either are one or you aren't one, Yeah. And I think you're not going to know until you know. I know that sounds very broad and whatnot, but until I ended up in treatment centers, and I had people like Nathan and like Sam and like Jeremy and Ellie telling me that I was an addict and alcoholic and that I should probably crack this book open and do this and do that. It never crossed my mind that I was an addict or alcoholic, But I think the best thing that I can do with my children and for children in general, man, is just, like you said, educate them. It's not a thing of where I should point the finger and say, don't do this and go and do this instead. It's just, this is what happened to me. Same thing with sponsorship.
We'll be right back.
Did you know that recovery from substance use disorder and mental health go hand in hand? That is why the caring and compassionate mental health professionals at Four Rivers Behavioral Health in Paducah are here to help you find your balance. They are proud of you for making the changes necessary to live a healthier life and would love to see you reach your full potential. Give them a call at 270-442-7121 or stop by the downtown location at 425 Broadway in Paducah, Kentucky.
Tell people the truth. I'm not scared to tell people my story. I'm not scared to tell people what I've been through and what I had to go through to get here, because that's the truth, you know. And because I've been in schools, I've been in Callaway County High School, McCracken, I've been in grades for Truth and Consequences, talked to middle schoolers, high schoolers all over the board, man. And it's always the same thing. You know, they want to know, oh, well, what was it like stealing a car? You know, what was it like going to jail? Yeah, you know, and it's because they don't resonate with it yet, man.
Yeah,
you know, I'm a firm believer that, you know, God, whoever grabs people's attention the way that He grabbed mine, when it's time, it's time. You know, like for you, it was in Seattle. Right. For me, it was in Center Point by some stroke of luck, and I think it's up to us to give them the best version of recovery that we can when that time comes. You know, and for me, the best version is the message that comes from the heart, and just trying to be there for somebody, man. Because when I was young and I started this whole journey with drugs and alcohol, nobody understood. Yeah. You know, you've got so much potential. Why are you doing this to yourself? My mom told me that crap so much. And I didn't have an answer for her. You know, I don't know why I am this way. And thank God I landed in a circle of people like you guys, because y'all had some answers. Yeah. And I think it is what it is, man. Yeah. You know.
Well, you know, sometimes you gotta go through life sometimes, testing. Yeah. You know, and you test something and you like it, and you become addicted to it. You know, it's the young people, they're gonna meet. I was the same way. Yeah. The only difference is that me as a kid, juvenile, it was yes sir and no sir. Mm-hmm. But you got to understand this, too. A lot of these kids' parents are either locked up or they're addicted to something. Yeah, that's a good point, man. So really majority, when you see a lot of young kids, as they call themselves, gang banging or whatever they want to call themselves, they just surviving, man. I mean, mama ain't never there. Daddy ain't never there. He's the oldest of the 4 kids. He got to take care of those kids. Yeah. Somehow, some way, somehow. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a lot to think about as far as why this and why. It's not necessarily why this. It just happens. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It just happened to me. I was a young kid playing baseball right downtown, playing basketball at my junior high school, and fell short with these people who I thought was my friend. Mm-hmm. But you find out it's like as you get older, you gain a little knowledge and a little wisdom. Trust me, you learn. No, those not my friends today. Mm-hmm. You know, but it's just gonna take. It's gonna take them. Mm-hmm. They're gonna have to hit the face down, like I had to hit face down. Yeah. And then maybe we'll learn. Yeah. So, like I said, only thing that we can possibly do is carry a message to the suffering alcoholic addict. That's all we can do. That's all. I agree. That's what they doing to us, man. That's what they did to us.
Yeah. That's one thing at Centerpoint, right? This is like my first semester as being a peer mentor, right? So, you know, at that point I was kind of like on the cloud. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of on the cloud, and I want everybody to get what I got. Right. Yeah. How I feel about myself and how I view the world, I want everybody to kind of feel like this. Yeah. If I can. And, you know, some people are there for the right reason. Some people are there because DLC made them go, or whatever that it is. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to escape jail, whatever that it is. Right. And I had to go talk to my boss one day. I was like, man, am I doing this for the right reasons? Like, what am I doing here, bro? Yeah. And he's like, Shannon Newcomb. Yeah. He said, Charles, you're responsible for the effort, not the outcome. I was like, man. Yeah. That's powerful. Yeah. Responsible for the effort, not the outcome. Mm-hmm. And eventually, man, I started having people come up to me and was like, hey, Charles, I appreciate your class, man, what you said, man. You got real in there. You got real honest, and you even went back to past experiences, and I could relate because people can relate with the pain.
Yes, they can. I agree.
That's the one thing we have in common. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Is the pain.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's in and of itself why the relation with a younger generation is just so hard to bridge that gap, because there's just not that incomprehensible demoralization and all those big nasty words that that we he's saying they don't have a hard head yet, or they are hard headed, and there's a whole there's a big push through several different programs across the state to make an impact on the younger generation, because as they say, we're only as good as the people that come behind us, and trying to figure out ways and programming and implementing things so we can make an impact. I mean, like there's a young people in recovery meeting here in Paducah. Occasionally, I'll be honest, we'll have young folks come in. And a lot of the times when I've talked to them afterwards, I spot a young person coming to young people in recovery. I stop them. I'm like, hey, man, we're bringing you in this evening. Can I have a second talk to you? And a lot of times it's just maybe to where my substance use disorder advanced to may not be where they're at with it yet. Or they want that community and consistency that comes along with the fellowship and the groups that we have and stuff like that. And I found that to be pretty successful, is just being consistent and being real. Like, there's one thing, I don't know, I've had a bunch of young people tell me, is that they can smell BS. You know what I mean? They can tell when you're lying to them or trying to put on that somebody you ain't. And just being consistent and real with them about what we went through, and because there's so many things out there nowadays that are telling this generation that if especially when it comes to substances, that if you do this, you will die. It's black and white. Although that is the reality.
I think now that's more true than ever.
See, it was real for you. I mean, as you shared, that was real for you.
Yeah.
Some of these young folks haven't seen that.
No.
And it doesn't necessarily take hold until, I think, like you said, the pain occurs. Now you got something to feel. Now you got something to grab onto. Right. And I mean, unfortunately, oftentimes for people like me, that's what it's got to come to. I got to bust my ass.
A few times.
I've got to, for me to learn.
Each individual got to find his own pain.
Yeah.
I mean, we can sit and talk about this to them.
Yeah.
But they bankrupt. Somewhere spiritually, mentally, and physically, they bankrupt. Like we were at one time. So sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it's slow.
Yeah.
It all depends on this new generation, man. This is something else, man.
I was waiting for that to come out more.
They're different.
Sometimes they think they really doing something.
Yeah.
And I say, well, man, I done that 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
The only difference about a lot of this in Paducah, I was born and raised here. It was only one treatment center. It's called Charter Hospital.
Yeah.
Now they got
everywhere.
This for this drug. You can go here and get your medicine. You can do this. There's plenty of recovery. But the people, they ain't trying to get involved in it.
Yeah.
See, I knew I was an addict.
Yeah.
I knew I was when I first did it. I knew I was, because I wanted another one, and another one, and another one. And then it became a real job for me.
Yeah.
And I still, lie, whatever it took, I'm dealing with a chronic baffling disease.
Yeah.
It talks to me, and sometimes it still talks to me.
Yeah.
It not only knows what kind of drug and alcohol I like, it knows what else I like.
Right.
So you got to be careful. See, sometimes it's not the drugs and alcohol that get you to relapse. It could be a relationship. So you got to be careful, man. You really have got to be careful. But like I said, the young people, man, you just got to. They pray for us.
Yeah.
We just got to pray for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I can dig it, man. See, I've got a 15-year-old at home, and like I'm watching things like maybe what I would have done happen in her life. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, dang, man, if you could just grab them and be like, stop doing this, because I've been there. You know what I mean? I know what steps that's going to lead to. And I'm just the old head. You know what I mean? I got gray hair. What I look like talking, but it's all in the same token, man. It puts fear into me when I think about it, because I do have a 3-year-old son as well, and looking at the way the drug trends are and how quickly, just in my generation. I can't imagine any day would not try to call you out, but golly, you've probably seen a heap of change when it comes to the substances now, and like how it's changed and ebbed and flowed, and all these different initiatives to try to fix the problem. Like it's generational. It just has not, and it's I know we're making some level of change when it comes to like the overdose deaths have reduced 4 years in a row. You know what I mean? We're steadily ticking down on the amount of people that are dying from this.
You know, when I started using, and I was right in the middle of everything, you didn't even hear anything about that.
Yeah.
There was no, it wasn't a notable thing to put on the news or in the
I didn't even heard about xylazine until I got to Paducah and
or
recovery.
fentanyl, bro. Like I'm only 26. That wasn't that long ago where I was in high school doing drugs and taking pills and doing all this, and you didn't hear the word fentanyl.
Yeah.
You didn't hear, it wasn't even a thing, man.
Definitely
you know?
wasn't a thing.
And now, like, my job, it's my job to take care of that stuff, to try to get it Narcan in as many people's hands as possible. And that's the biggest thing that scares me about my children is when I was in school, I am not condoning drug use, but kids experiment, man. And we know what happens. That's how we all got started, you know? Today, it's not safe to do that.
No.
You know, I mean, the
experimental
numbers are there.
phase is gone.
No, man, like your first one will kill you, and that's what scares me the most. You know, because my son's got my blood running through him, and that worries me. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the drugs back when I used was friendly drugs. Have a good time, man. Yeah. Now they got this stuff out now that I don't think the people who's even call themselves selling it know what they got.
No.
Horse tranquilizer. They got anything that'll knock a hammer out and put it in a human being gonna knock you out. You know what I'm saying? You know, but it is what it is, man. Sometimes I pray and I say, man, if I knew what I knew now at that age, I'd be different. Yeah. But it wasn't time for it.
Right.
Sometimes you got to go through life.
Yeah.
And deal with it, man.
Yeah.
But it's sad, man. Every day, 14-year-old, 13-year-old, they ODing, man.
Man, yeah.
And I done the same thing, but a different type of drug.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're getting today.
Right.
You might think you're getting fentanyl, and you might be getting something else.
Yeah.
It's called mixtures now.
Yeah.
It's like the drug leaders don't care about making money. They just giving you stuff here. Try this.
Yeah.
You know, if it looked like it, you see, it looked just like it. But it's not what it is.
No, that stuff's insane, man.
No, it's not the same, man.
It's wild. And, another thing, too, that you have me thinking about that, we talk about, youth substance use prevention and all that stuff. I think maybe the aspect of what younger folks are going through mentally is I'm sure it's around me, but I feel like maybe I don't hear it enough, and maybe it's because I don't pay attention or stuff like that. But thinking about the ways things are affecting younger folks, what they're having to deal with and process, I know that things are different than from when I was, a teenager. Maybe not. It's still a little wild. I mean, wars and all these crazy things that people are seeing on the news, and it's all accessible with this computer in your hand.
I think that's the problem.
It almost takes away the reality of life, because you look at this stuff and you read it in books or see it in movies, but you can look at it on your phone. This is happening, all this crazy stuff that's going on in the world, and it's like young folks are jaded right out the jump. Nothing's scary anymore. Nothing has consequence anymore. And that sucks, because things need to have consequence. You break the vase, and mama told you not to mess with the vase, you get your butt whooped. Hey, maybe I don't need to do that again. It's like that consequence thought is just not even there anymore. And I hate that. I mean, and the reason I say it's because I talked to my wife about this with our daughter. I'm like, I just don't feel like that what's the consequence here? Because there's no lack of information out there that somebody can access that can change the way they see things, because I mean, how many times you get a call from somebody? We went through this the other day on the way back from, old lady's at WebMD and everything. She's a doctor now. I hope she don't watch this, but everybody does that kind of stuff. And it's just, it drives me nuts, because that's got to have some kind of negative effect on a young, growing, spongy mind.
Yeah.
And how do they escape that?
It's almost like a brainwash.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And you're right about the brainwash, man, because it's a new electronic world today.
Yeah, that's changing every second.
Little kids, you know, my granddaughter, the phone said, I was texting, said, Grandpa, you did the wrong thing. You spelled the wrong word. She said, go to the microphone. I'm like, what is the microphone? I hit it, and it wrote it just as clear and everything.
Yeah.
See, they got this new world of electronic, man.
That's what it is too. It's a world. This is a whole world right
The
here.
world, I think the world is selling itself to the young people, building their head up.
Yeah.
You know, when I was in high school, you couldn't have a calculator to do. Man, look at it now, man. They got cell phones and at school talking and adding and subtracting and whatever they got to do. You know, it's easy for them today. It's so easy for them today. Nothing scares them. You can do life. They can shoot somebody, get life. They laugh about it.
I'm telling you, man.
It's like, you know what?
Yeah, that's
where is
the part
the
that
human
drives me nuts.
behavior?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say earlier. You know, we were talking about different ways to try to not necessarily make this recovery thing attractive, but just reach people. You know, and I think what we're doing right now is a prime example of that, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when I was first coming into rehabs or even going to the principal's office all the way back when I was real little, you know, I saw people in suits. I saw people that just weren't like me, you know, and today I think when people come into not just our place but near town and other treatment centers, Centerpoint, they see people like them, and I think that's why I jumped on board. You know, I saw people that were doing it that had changed their lives, but if I were to sit down and have a conversation with them, they'd been through all the same things I had.
Right.
You know, so it's just the more people that we help recover, right, the better chance we have of identifying with every crowd in the world. You know, I know people. Hell, I got sober when I was 23.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's possible. There are
Yeah.
different ways to reach people. It's just up to us if we can make this thing cool or not.
Yeah.
You know.
And I got to think, too, that, you know, at that age, maybe let's say 16 to 25, you're still trying to figure out what you want to do with your life, much less of somebody telling you that you got a drug problem. You know, these things. That's not the focus. Well, I'm not worried about that. I got time to fix it.
You said the magical word. I got time.
I got time to fix it. Go be all right.
But if you don't fix it, and you're 40 years old and it ain't fixed, then that tells myself that there's a situation I need some help.
Yeah.
I keep doing the same thing. Keep doing this. Keep doing this. Where is the positive of my life?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, a lot of young kids, man, they are very smart. They just make wrong turns like we did. They're making that wrong turn. And once you make that turn, y'all know from experience of being addicted to it, whatever you're addicted to.
Yeah.
Once you make that wrong turn, you stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God is nowhere in sight.
Yeah.
You're on the other planet. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta. It comes when it comes.
Yeah.
We can preach and talk about it all day long.
Yeah, for sure.
And when the student is when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
I agree, man.
So we're gonna have this for the rest of our life, man. It's the next generation. We don't know what they're gonna come up with.
I know.
You don't know what they're gonna come up with.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just tell myself that I think the best thing that I can do, you know, I'm not one to be dishonest with my kids, to hide my life and things like that. To just recover out loud.
Yeah.
Is my big thing. I can do that good. I can be in recovery good. I can be loud about it, proud, showing that my life has changed because of this. Here's where I was, here I am now. And some days that is as good as I can get it. You know what I mean? Especially with somebody that hasn't had the life experiences. I just dropped some in my pocket. You know, they still got a lot of stuff they got to go through. Yeah. And that's I think about that and I'm like, damn, they still got a lot of experiences that they have to go through. And then us being the older folks, we're just sitting over here like, yep, we'll be here when you need us, you know? And that's sometimes the thing that I have to settle myself with, especially having children myself. You know, it's like, man, what can I do better? And sometimes just doing this, keeping myself whole, taking care of my business, doing what I need to do, especially in my home, making sure that it's protected and safe and secure and peaceful, and just putting out that image that everything's gonna be okay, you know. And that's sometimes I think that's the best we can do.
Yeah, being a parent's hard though.
Yeah, it's hard.
They don't like give you an instruction manual or anything. You know, they just you go to the hospital and you leave with another person. You know,
and
like
you gotta feed it.
Go for it.
Won't be quiet. Can't sleep.
Yeah.
What the heck happened?
You know what I mean? That's what it felt like for me. I was like, all right, what now?
Yeah.
You know?
and then they grow into these things with attitudes and smart
Oh, yeah.
mouths and bruh and all this. I love it though. I love my kids, and I got a heart for the younger folks, man, because I was them. You know, I was a punk growing up. Didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that we can share our experiences and hopefully relate and touch somebody, man. That's
the key.
That's all we can do.
That's
I can't. I don't. Like I said, no magic wand over here.
That's the key.
We'll share what I got, and hopefully it all works out. But I did want to put you on the spot. So, if Charles and David, if y'all had one thing that you could say to someone of the younger generation that may potentially be struggling and don't know which way to go, what would you share with them? Charles, how about you? You hit us with some wisdom, man.
All right, so for me, man, it was when I was out there running around, man. Now that I look back on it, is I lack purpose, and for me, that was dangerous to run around in the world for as long as I did without purpose. And it took for me to come into these rooms, man, to actually figure out what my purpose is. And my purpose is to be of maximum service to God and the people about me. And once I really seen that, it was a game changer.
Yeah.
So, my thing would be to say, please find your purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah. I love it, man. That's you, Mr. Dave. What you got?
Yeah, I like what you said, Charles. You know, but you can sit and tell them your story. They ain't gonna believe it. No, man.
Yeah.
No, not you, OG.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, OG did. OG did the same thing. You know what I would tell them is this: you have a choice. You're 16 years old. Where do you want to go from 16? Do you want to be locked up for 20, 30 years? Where you going to lose? You're going to learn a new trade, a better way how to get by beating the law, which you think you are.
Yeah.
I would just say, make a decision, and the decision has to be based on a spirituality. No spirituality, for me, cost me a whole lot of confusion.
Yeah.
So I would basically talk about spirituality of God. How I got sober was not through human beings.
Right.
No human being can believe me for my alcoholism.
Yeah.
And they say the best else for last, just says God.
Yeah.
But somehow we missing something, or they just don't care. Then sometimes I say to myself, there go me.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
I get it when I get it.
For sure.
Jail ain't gonna get it. What got it for me was bankruptcy. Spiritually bankrupt.
Yeah.
That's what got it. And a lot of them it just don't want to hear about God.
Yeah.
Not trying to break bread or nothing, but some people looking for the God to come down from the sky.
Yeah.
But see, God, the spirit is right here.
Yeah.
Another addict have another addict. That's how it works.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
Until they realize 16 years old and you 40 years old and you still locked up for life, you ain't got no life. So I don't know really nothing special, but just I keep sharing my story.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna hear it, somebody gonna understand it, and somebody gonna want it. So
Yeah.
what you gotta do, man.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Well, gentlemen, we've hit about that time. Of course, I want to tell you thank you, really, for sharing all that stuff. I think this is one to watch, man. I'm excited to get back and edit and put it all together. So, of course, I'd love to have you guys on again sometime if you'd be willing. But other than that, everybody all solid?
Solid.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can't remember what the end of this is again. So check us out on Apple, Spotify, Podbean, anywhere you get your podcasts. Of course, check us out on YouTube. Like and subscribe so you can get all of our latest notifications about the new videos and all the cool stuff that we got coming up. And as always, stay grateful.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction or in recovery and needs guidance, speak with Turning Point's team of peer support specialists by calling 270-444-3621. You are not alone, and we are proof that recovery is possible.